Yo, it's your boy Orion, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics. The grind doesn't stop. We started with a AK-41, the alien, Alvin Kamara. Happy birthday. We need to do a nice little tribute video to him. We're doing the live stream now, so I'm going to get into something really nice. The Northwest Sports Fanatics NFL Top 5 linebackers going into the 2019 season. This is going to be exciting because there's going to be a lot of people kind of, jockeying for position. Who's going to be the best one? Puweezy 5. What's good, bro? I'm not even done watching that AK-41 video. I know we grinding today. We got the AK-41 video. Mark IV, what up, bro? Where would you rank Demario Davis? I'll get into that very shortly. We'll wait for some of the other people to hop into the chat. We'll get into my best linebackers going into 2019. Happy birthday, AK-41 Alvin Kamara. Obviously, we had to do a nice little tribute video. And then we did a little Madden 20 reaction video. I can't wait to that game coming out. Xbox One. I'm a PlayStation guy, so it'll be on PS4. Everything is good, man. I wanted to go over really my top 5 going into the 2019 season. There's so many really good linebackers in the NFL right now. As you can see, I'm wearing my Derek Brooks Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl jersey, obviously from the old school era, my favorite player in the NFL of all time. So I'll get into some sleepers and some guys that are kind of on the outside looking in. Christy. Say, Howell. Raul. AK-41. Alvin Kamara. Area 41. I love you too. This is going to be a nice video for all y'all. For as far as Demario Davis, I feel that he's one of the most underrated, kind of position players that's in the entire league. You could say that for Von Bell also. Lots of productivity, lots of stops, lots of leadership, lots of passion. Like I said, it's one of those things that non-Nolans Saints fans know. I mean, if you watch your team or the Nolans Saints, you know how good these players are. But a lot of guys on the outside looking in, they don't really know. So I'll have to give it to you. And I'm a Bucs fan, man. I'm going to let you know. But I hope you guys really enjoyed the Alvin Kamara happy birthday video. I definitely had to, talk to Marcus and say, hey, I was coming up with ideas for the show. I'm always brainstorming. I'm coming up with ideas for the show as soon as I get to work at like 4 or 5 in the morning when I'm doing my regular full-time job. I'm thinking, okay, what can we talk about today? Then I noticed it was his birthday, and that was like, all right, it's game over. I'm going to definitely do a highlight package video. Then we found a couple videos of Madden 20. So if you guys play, obviously on the Xbox, ooh, Christy, I love you so much. Thank you so much. I know if you could have did that on the AK-41 video, obviously they don't really give you an option to do that on there. Those type of videos, we can't monetize them, so we don't get, any donations, or we don't get any monetization to put our ads on that have like Madden highlights or someone else's highlights, AK-41 highlights. So thank you, Christy. You're one of my favorites, throughout the whole channel. That's just amazing. Thank you so much. And I know you're not going to be one of those people that's going to be here for just a little while. You're going to be with me and Marcus all year round, watching Drew Brees get the MVP, go to the Super Bowl, go off into the sunset. But I hope if they do win that he comes back for another year. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. And let's get into the list, shall we? I want to go over some honorable mentions because there's obviously a lot of linebackers that you can go over. Stupid Rat says Jalen Smith. You know what? I love Jalen Smith. He's kind of up and coming. Dante Hightower. Lots of studs. I'm going to go over the list. So, Christy, thank you so much. So as far as I'm going to over just 2 sleepers. These 2 sleepers that, they're on the outside looking in. One guy has been doing it for, many, many years. I'm familiar with him. I watch him all the time. He gets kind of overlooked by the bigger name stud linebackers, but he's consistent. He's my favorite active player right now. I'm a Derek Brooks guy from the old school era. Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, John Lynch, right? Simeon Rice, Rondé Barber. It goes so on and so forth. This is my honorable mention, even though I thought he was close to being in the top 5. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Bucks' very own Lavonte David. He's my favorite player on the current roster. I know when Devin White actually gets out there, that will probably change, but Lavonte David's been doing it for a long time, since I believe 2012, second-round pick out of Nebraska. He's very consistent. I want to see his numbers go up a little bit with Devin White this season, but he's one of the leaders on the roster, and I almost can't believe that it's been that long. It's already been since 2012. We're already going into the 8th season of my guy. I mean, that means that, we're on that latter half of his career, and I hope that he can retire a Buck, because, I don't have too many guys that are that good. So when I get one that's pretty good, I love to be able to hang on to him and lock him up for a long, long time. He's got good lateral quickness. He's got good vision. He tackles. He can pick balls off, right? He can assist with tackles. He knows the coverages. Lavonte David, I got to give you a shout out. So you're my honorable mention. And then the other honorable mention that I have is going to be a player that slightly has maybe more upside than Lavonte David. I want to see what he does with Devin White, but this player is starting to break out. He was injured kind of going into the draft process, so he slipped. He probably would have ended up being a top 8 pick in the draft if he didn't have an injury in college at Notre Dame. Who am I talking about? This guy is so close to being my top 5. It hurts me. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys' Jaylon Smith. Now, obviously, Eagles fans, you're not going to have too much love for a team that is the enemy, but Jaylon Smith is a stud. He definitely has good quickness, good tackling machine. He's getting better and better. With him and Leighton Vander Esch, they have one of the best duos at linebacker moving forward. Great defense, great leader. He just needs to make sure he stays healthy, but I was really impressed on what he did, going in after obviously being injured, going into his rookie season. So that is my 2 honorable mentions. Northwest Sports Fanatics NFL top 5 linebackers going into the 2019 season. Let's go into number 5. Now, number 5 had a better season than some of my guys that are in the top 4, okay? That's big facts. But he only did it for 1 year. I think that he's going to continue to do it year in and year out. There's a lot of comparisons to Luke Kuechly. Sean Lee was getting kind of banged up, so they needed to get a guy to be able to replace him. So at number 5, even though that he had a better season than some of the guys in the top 4, since he's new, I definitely have to put him on this list. Jaylon Smith is great, but to me personally, this guy is a little bit better, a little bit more potential, a little bit more, I think, style points for him. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about number 5, Dallas Cowboys, Leighton Vander Esch from Boise State. All right. Solo tackles, 125 last season, 62 stops, second only to Darius Leonard, Defensive Rookie of the Year. 6'4", 256 pounds, great agility, great size, great awareness. Yeah, there was some games where he missed some tackles and he got burnt on some coverages, but I do like his potential. A lot of the Cowboys fans were hoping for a wide receiver in this pick, but they stood pat, and they ended up getting Amari Cooper anyways, so they ended up getting their stud moving forward, and arguably this is the best player on the defense, not named DeMarcus Lawrence, Jaylon Smith, or Byron Jones, but I really love Leighton Vander Esch moving forward for the Dallas Cowboys, and that is my number 5 linebacker going into the 2019 season. Number 4. Number 4 is a guy that's been doing it for a long time. I believe he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He switched teams recently, so he was a guy that the Ravens fans knew everything about. He was one of those guys that was well-liked not only in the community, but in the locker room. Ultimate leader, ultimate passion, athletic, can make the plays, intercept the ball with the best of them. Who am I talking about? Number 4 on the New York Football Jets, Jets, Jets. I'm talking about C.J. Mosley. Now you pair him with Jamal Adams at safety. You got 2 of the best NFL football players on one team in New York. It's crazy. It's about time the Jets got good again. They're going to have to battle with the Bills, the Dolphins, New England. But as far as moving forward, Sam Darnold's got his guy at running back and Le'Veon Bell, but the defense to me is the most impressive. C.J. Mosley, 85 tackles last year for the Ravens, 46 stops, 27 assists, 44 receptions on 60 targets, 408 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick, and 3 pass breakups. Now, you could argue Leighton Vander Esch could be higher than C.J. Mosley, but C.J. Mosley's a G. He's been doing it for a longer period of time. He was the Ravens' best player on defense, in my opinion, for quite many years. You had the Ray Lewis era, then you had T-Sizzle, then you had Nata, and they kind of got older and started to move on. You had Eric Weddle. Now, obviously, you have Earl Thomas III, but C.J. Mosley for the Jets, he's going to teach so much to Jamal Adams, and I'm really looking forward to see what the Jets can do. Look for them to be in the hunt for a wild card in the AFC. Yeah, I said it here first. Look out for the Jets in the wild card in 2019. Ooh, now we get to the cream of the crop. Northwest Sports Fanatics, NFL top 5 linebackers going into the 2019 season. This player broke out. No one expected a season like this. We haven't seen stats like this, a performance like this, in a really, really long time. People are comparing this player to a lot of guys, like a Ray Lewis type of talent, a Patrick Willis type of talent. Now, we've heard that with Devin White, the rookie from Tampa Bay at pick number 5 from LSU, but we still need to see it. But this guy has proven it. He dominates. And he's a future, to me, if he can keep it up and not get injured, a future Hall of Famer. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Indianapolis Colts' very own Darius Leonard. All right, AP, Associated Press, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Check this out, man. His stat line is nuts. AFC Player of the Week, Week 2 and Week 17 as a rookie. Player of the Month. In the whole entire AFC, we're talking about every single football player on defense in the AFC in the month of December. Fuck, really? That's insane. 141 solo tackles, led the fucking NFL. Think about that. 141. How many tackles that is in a 16-game season? Get a calculator out, break down the averages. Yeah, he did it. It's amazing, right? 5 forced fumbles, 2 picks. It's one of the best seasons I've seen forever. Like ever since I've been watching football, since I've been about 3, 4, 5 years old. Amazing player, amazing leader, chip on his shoulder. The pundits and the experts, quote unquote, said this might be the worst pick, going into the draft in that year. Yeah, they were fucking wrong. Obviously, this guy is one of the best players that the NFL's ever seen. And sometimes when people sleep on you, you end up having a year better than anyone expects. And I don't think it's a one-trick pony, and then he'll go back to reality and have, some average seasons, moving forward. I think this guy is really going to be pushing my number 1 and number 2 for years to come. And look for this guy to keep getting better and better. And I do have the Colts as one of those teams that's not named New England, right? Not named the Los Angeles Chargers, not named the Kansas City Chiefs. I truly believe the Indianapolis Colts are going to go to an AFC championship game, win a Super Bowl with Andrew Luck, who will be a future MVP in the league. I don't know what year it's going to be. More than likely not this year, but in the next 5 years, don't be surprised at the end of the day, holding the Lombardi is Darius Leonard and Andrew Luck with Frank Reich from the Eagles leading them to the championship. Frank Reich is underrated. I love him. Look for them to keep dominating and moving forward. Darius Leonard at my number 3, but his season was so great, you could put him at number 2 or even number 1. I mean, last year's stats were amazing. Now we're getting to the top 2. Getting a little predictable, but what order do I have him in? Some people have a preference depending on if you're a homer or if you like one or the other. The number 2 linebacker has been doing it consistently. You watch this guy. He's Brian Urlacher 2.0. In my personal opinion, he is better than Brian Urlacher. That is a statement, okay? Because Brian Urlacher is a Hall of Famer, great player for the Bears. And I think this player is going to not only stamp his name on this franchise, but he's already made a name for himself in the league already. Everyone respects him. Staple on the defense. They've added pieces like Gerald McCoy just recently. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the second best linebacker in the NFL, and you could legitimately argue number 1 in some circles. I got Luke freaking Kuechly. Luke, I am your father. All right? 114 solo tackles, 17 assists, 12 pressures. He is the undoubtedly the leader of the Panthers. Yeah, you have Cam Newton. Run CMC is amazing. Look for them to, do big things this season. But on the defense, it's the leader. He's the quarterback on the defense. He makes everyone better. He holds everybody accountable. He's really fun to watch. I'm a Buccaneer fan, so I know what it's about to see Luke Kuechly 2 times a year, year in and year out. Luke Kuechly is the man. Like I said, you could kind of argue with him and number one. They've been kind of shifting positions, back and forth for the last couple years. But I really like Luke Kuechly. He's not slowing down. First ballot Hall of Famer. Arguably, at the end of the day, he'll probably be the best Panthers player to ever put on a uniform, period. And you got guys like Steve Smith, Steve Smith Jr., Senior, whatever way you want to call him, Senior. You've had a lot of great talent on the roster, but I really love this player. Now we're getting to number one. Christy and everyone else is waiting. Who could it be? The number one linebacker in football right now and has been for the last couple years. We're going to the Northwest. We're going to Seattle. The Legion of Boom is dismantled. Richard Sherman is in San Francisco, okay? Right? Earl Thomas III gave the finger to Pete Carroll. He's in Baltimore with the Ravens flock. The rest of the Legion of Boom is gone. Marshawn Lynch is gone. The team is gone. Frank Clark is no longer there, right? But the team still has Russell Wilson. Thank God they do, so that way they can at least try to win some games and get to 9 or 10 wins. But without this player on defense, they would be in trouble. It's like going from a 9 to 10 win team to a 4 to 5 win team. This linebacker can do it all. He's got vision. He's got speed. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I watch every game that this guy plays. I'm in Oregon, Nike headquarters, Beaverton. I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the number one linebacker in football, Bobby Wagner. Now, some people saw Madden ratings of 99 for Bobby Wagner, and to a lot of people, they were scratching their head. They were wondering, well, this player maybe doesn't fit the 99 mold. You got Aaron Donald and a few of the other guys that hit the 99, DeAndre Hopkins. Is this guy really a 99? Let's break down the stats, and then you let me know. Bobby Wagner, 999 fucking snaps. Let me say that again. 999 snaps last year. 108 tackles, 34 assisted, 41 stops. He didn't allow a touchdown on 71 pass targets. He's the only linebacker in the NFL to not allow a touchdown. Think about that for a second. How much speed you have to be able to recover on a slot, right? On a guys that are deep burners on the outside, or if the safety ends up getting burned and you're hustling down the sideline to make sure that score doesn't happen. The most impressive stat out of them all, and the reason that he's number one besides not giving up a touchdown, right? In a full season, right? He missed only 2 tackles, the lowest in the NFL at the linebacker position. How the hell do you miss only 2 tackles at linebacker? It's insane. So that's my top 5 with a couple honorable mentions. Let's do a quick recap. NFL top 5 linebackers by me, O-Dog Orion, the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Number 7, Levante David. Number 6, Jalen Smith. Number 5, Leighton Vander Esch. Number 4, C.J. Mosley. Number 3, Darius Leonard. Number 2, Luke Kuechly, and number 1, freaking Bobby Wagner. All right, so that is my top 5, and now I want to get into the chat and see what you guys have to say, what you think, and I can kind of see what you guys have to say here. All right, so let's see here. Sean Evans stole my question. My boy Dante Hightower, so underrated. Agreed. Jalen Smith, stupid rat. I love him. Christy says, I love the AK-41 video. We did it for you. We did it for all the Nolans Saints fans. I wanted to do the video. I'm a fan. He's my favorite running back in the NFL this season. Demario Davis is underrated. That's big facts. Let's see here. Most wanted 28. Am I early? You're never too early because you know I'm grinding. This is the 3rd video of the day. How many YouTubers are doing 3 videos in a day? Not a lot. Quality content. That's all we're going to give you. What's your thoughts on Dante Hightower? Underrated. A guy that can keep getting better and better. Not a top 5, you know what I mean, but still has time to grow, obviously as an athlete moving forward. Mark 4, do you think the Bucs should have kept McCoy? It hurt me a little bit because, I mean, I was a fan. I mean, it was Warren Sapp 2.0. He wasn't as good as Warren Sapp. A lot of guys thought he was a little soft, you know, because he likes, you know, comics and, you know, he's very kind of like child-oriented with his kids. He loves to do a lot of activities. But when you're on the football field compared to being the man off the field, I mean, he's a monster. I mean, Gerald McCoy is one of the most respected guys in the league. Obviously picking up Sue, you know, for a year, and then they gave him the number. That was a little disrespectful, I think. But I'm really rooting for Gerald McCoy, even though he's on the Panthers, and I'm a Bucs fan. I don't have any, like, bad words or ill will. I really am rooting for him to have a phenomenal season. I hope he gets 6 to 10 sacks. I hope he plays great against the Bucs. He's one of the best players the Bucs have had. It just kind of sucks that we didn't really put around enough talent around him and Levante David. The defense is horrible overall, right? The offensive line has been horrible. Jameis is licking his fingers to get the W is horrible. I mean, the only bright side to the pieces is Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard. That's nice. That's sexy, right? But, I mean, if you can't run the ball and you have no running backs, I'm not sold on any of them, and you can't stop anybody, and you're in the division, the NFC South, 3 Fs with the Panthers, the Falcons, and the New Orleans Saints, not a lot of Ws at the end of the day. But I would have liked to have McCoy, but it was about money. And they were trying to move forward, but I kind of wish that he was still with Tampa Bay, especially if we can start turning it around. And if we end up making the playoffs and he's not a part of it, it's going to hurt me a little bit. But if he makes it with the Panthers, I'm definitely going to be rooting for him, moving forward. TJ Smith, hi. TJ Smith, I subbed. TJ Smith, and thank you. Appreciate you very much. 6 Inc., what is up, my guy? Corey Williams, Roquan Smith. Now, if I was doing a video, which I'm going to be doing probably tomorrow or moving forward, Roquan Smith as a underrated linebacker, a guy at Georgia that I watched very heavily, a guy that I like moving forward, Roquan Smith is a stud. He's going to keep getting better and better. And then he's learning from who? One of the best in football, and Khalil Mack for the Bears. So he's going to get better and better. ENB 90. Indy linebacker, Darius Leonard. Yes, Darius Leonard. He's amazing. Not a one-trick pony. He's going to keep doing it and doing it. And to be honest, to be ahead or very close to Luke Kuechly and Bobby Wagner as a first-year player, that says a lot about how talented you really are. There's a lot of other guys that I had that kind of on the outside looking in, but that's my personal top 5. Demario Davis. Von Bell at safety. These are guys that, people don't really give the credit where credit's due. Sheldon Rankins. That's another guy. Before he got hurt, hey, Sheldon Rankins, hey, little shimmy and a little shake. He was one of my favorite players in the league, and I know that's kind of weird coming from a Bucs fan, but he made a huge difference and a huge jump in his skill set with the Cameron Jordan and the rest of the roster. So I'm praying that he has a speedy, healthy recovery, because if you guys are going to go to the NFC Championship game and win the Super Bowl, I need to see Sheldon Rankins out there shimmying, shaking, baking, and taking names, because he's that damn good. Let's see here. ENB 90, and that was a rookie. Woo, yeah. Ric Flair, woo, he was a rookie. You don't see players like that with Leighton Vander Esch, right, and Darius Leonard. I mean, I love linebackers. That's my favorite position. Middle, outside, it doesn't matter. It's just exciting to see new guys, even if it's from Dallas Cowboys, and it's a rival team to some of you guys. I just love seeing talent, and I watched Leighton Vander Esch in college at Boise State a lot, so I already knew who he was. I mean, I watch a lot of college tape. During college football season, I'm probably watching 10, 12 hours. I got a few games on tape. I'm watching 3 or 4 live, throughout the games. I watch every Oregon game. Then I'm watching pretty much every Alabama, Clemson game, and some of the lower schools too, just to kind of get a gauge, especially, with all the competition, Michigan, Ohio State, everybody. I'm watching everybody in college football. And that's why me and Marcus's knowledge with obviously all the NFL players, I feel, is on the elite status, because we watch and we read and we watch tape, more than anybody besides maybe an NFL scout. I mean, that's how we know. ENB 90, yeah, he was a great pick. What a great pick. And getting Quentin Nelson for the Colts too, with Darius Leonard, maybe 2 first ballot Hall of Famers. Frank Reich and that organization really is doing a great job. Philip Jack, Luke better be number 1. In some circles, he is. In some circles, Luke Kuechly is the best linebacker, and he's been the best linebacker for quite some time. But if you looked at the stats that I read off with Bobby Wagner, how many snaps he's played, he's only missed 2 tackles in the whole freaking season. Out of all the pass attempts, he didn't allow a touchdown. No one else did it. No one else did those things. As great as Luke Kuechly is, you know what I mean? He's not that far behind. It's 1A, 1B. But Bobby Wagner, there's a reason why, even though Madden ratings are fucked up and most of them are wrong, they hit it on the head with Bobby Wagner with a 99. It's just no one really knew how good he was prior to the Legion of Boom leaving. But now with everyone gone and it's just Russell Wilson and company, now you guys know how good Bobby Wagner really is. And he's been this good for a long, long time. And he deserves to get all the money, when that time comes. Elliot Evans. I'm late, but what's up? What is up, my guy? Busy day today. Alvin Kamara's birthday, right? A celebration, an AK-41. video. I tagged him in it on Twitter, so I hope he watched it. I know Marcus did too, so I'm hoping he watched it. I mean, I hope we did him proud. And then obviously we did a Madden 20, gameplay video, Steelers versus Browns snow game. That was sick. That was like literally the whole game. And then they have a Patriots Chargers rain game on there too. We might do that tomorrow. Madden 20 looks amazing. I don't give a shit when anyone says I'm buying that shit. It looks awesome. 6 Inc. Luke Kuechly, ENB 90, Wagner #1. You better believe it. Kuechly is a beast. He is. He's one of the most well-respected, good guys on and off the field. Like I said, there's certain guys that even though I'm a Bucs fan, if it was more acceptable to buy jerseys of guys, on like rival teams or teams in the division, I would rock, first off, an AK-41, the Alien, Alvin Kamara. That would be the first jersey of a current player that I would buy. And I definitely would rock a Luke Kuechly jersey. I mean, at the linebacker position, me being a Derek Brooks guy, he's just off the charts. I mean, these guys keep getting better and better. AK-41's at the beginning of his career. Luke Kuechly's already established himself. Great players on and off the field. I love it. And then obviously, with AK-41, he got all the swag. The Nolens Saints swag. Let's see, 6 Inc. Yeah, I do respect the hell out of him. I saw his performance against the Nolens Saints in Week 15, and his effort was crazy. Yeah, you better believe it. Wagner, easy. I hate seeing Luke each season. I know it's tough because you just know when you're matching up, obviously, with the Nolens Saints, your #1 rival. Easily is the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons fans and Saints fans talk shit back and forth to each other like Eagles and Cowboys fans. It's comical. I love it. Back and forth. This is going to be a fun, exciting year because the Falcons look like they're healthy. It's not going to be easy. You're really going to have to bring it all. But when you guys play the Panthers too, regardless if Cam's playing good or bad, Luke Kuechly is going to be good for 10 to 15 tackles. You hope he doesn't get a pick on you, on Drew Brees. He might get a forced fumble. He's everywhere. He's sideline to sideline. We're talking like pretty much Brian Urlacher Jr. 2.0. But like I said, when it's all said and done, I think he's going to be known as better than Brian Urlacher, and that says a lot about Luke Kuechly and who he is on and off the field. Elliot Evans, I hate going up against Kuechly twice a year. Tell me about it. I got to do it all the time. Luis Fernando, my guy. What is up, O-Dog? What is up? Luis is a guy that, I used to work with. Miss him a lot. We used to do the whole Verizon thing. I didn't even know he'd be up in this chat. We're grinding, Louise. We're getting close to 20,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views. We grinding, Louise. We got to get that. Got to get that paper, get that cheddar. That's NFL season. You know what I mean? This is going to be the biggest Northwest Sports Fanatics year on YouTube moving forward. I'm preparing myself, hydrating myself, getting ready to do 3 games on Saturday for college football at least, right? That's like 9 hours, right? Live play-by-play and reaction. Marcus maybe with some of those or not. And then I'm going to probably do 3 on Sunday. I don't know if there's going to be anyone working as hard as me on YouTube. 9 hours on Saturday, 3 games. 9 hours on Sunday, 3 games. Monday Night Football, another 3 hours. Thursday Night Football. I'm going to show, really, I feel, the YouTube universe on what it is to grind, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to keep up with me, and we're going to get this channel to grow, and everyone's going to know who we are, hopefully even NFL Network and maybe Good Morning Football. Elliot Evans, he only missed 2 tackles. Isn't that crazy? 2. And you got to think linebackers have to be shifty. They take gambles. They take bad angles sometimes. Sometimes the wide receivers are beasts like can't guard Mike, which we need to get into camp. Pay that guy the money. I know Julio and some of these other guys, are trying to get the cheddar. With the last year with the rookie deal, Michael Thomas deserves, to me, anything, 20, 21, 22. They don't pay players like that, position players. Drew Brees is, they had to restructure the contract and whatnot. But if you're going to pay someone the money, pay someone that led the league, in grabs last season. Pay a guy that's getting better year in and year out. Pay a guy that is leading the NFL in his first 3 years in receptions over anyone in NFL history. That is enough to pay the man the $20 million. All right, do it. Get it done already. Make this guy happy. You need him to make your Super Bowl run. That's big facts. TTG54. Did I miss anything? My top 5. The AK-41 birthday video. Highlight celebration. Madden 20 gameplay. Reaction video. Other than that, if you watch that, then you're caught up. Elliot Evans from 6 Inc. Yeah, guy is elite. E-L-I-T-E, elite. You better believe it. Omar, love you, bud. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, man. I've seen you in the comment section last year. I know who you are. I'm starting to remember all the names and all the pieces. I love you guys. Elliot Evans. Demario Davis is definitely underrated. And it's not just because you're a Saints fan, you're going to say that. But when you get someone like me that's a Bucs fan giving you that stamp, giving you that big facts, you know it's true. Luke, it's Luke. Elliot Evans, true. He was vital to our defense. He was the missing piece we needed for the linebacker core for Six Sync. You know what? Demario Davis, do you know what he was? If you watch my videos from last year, I gave him the nickname the Glue because he was the glue for your guys' team last year. Yeah, Cameron Jordan's a beast. We saw Marshawn Lattimore not really have the same type of year that he had the year before in his rookie season. He brought Eli Apple over late. There was some holes in the secondary, a little bit of, injuries, Sheldon Rankins. But I felt, Von Bell did a great job. But gosh, the linebacking core with Demario Davis, he really stepped up. And you needed a piece like that. You're correct. They needed to fill that gap and that hole that you guys had. He did it perfectly. I'm really excited to see what he does this year. Mark 4, do you think the Bucs should have gotten a new quarterback in the draft to take over for Winston? And the question is, this year's draft? No, because I'm not really a big fan of the quarterbacks in this draft. I could definitely see some of the quarterbacks being franchise guys, but I could see some of them not even making, rosters down the road or being like backups. I'm looking forward to Tua, right? Tagovailoa. Bama, Roll Tide, lefty, Michael Vick Jr., Michael Vick 2.0, arguably maybe the best lefty quarterback going in since Mark Brunell, right? Or maybe Steve Young, I'm hoping, right? Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, beast, won the championship, beat Bama, killed it. He's going to get better. Justin Herbert from Oregon, 6'6", plenty of size. He just needs to improve on his accuracy. I'm going to go see him front row, fifth row. I'm going to go to a couple games this year. I went to 4 last year, so I want to see him improve, but I'd rather have any of those 3 guys than any of the guys in last year's draft with these guys coming in. Nothing against Haskins or Jones or some of these guys, but I don't know. I thought Jameis Winston and Mariota were going to be better than they were, and look how it turned out. Both guys are kind of mediocre and average. Mariota gets hurt a lot, and Jameis is just a knucklehead. You know what I mean? He's too inaccurate for me. And his deep ball, he's one of the worst at 20-yard throws down the field. I can't have that. When I got burners like Mike Evans, and you got Godwin, and you got Cameron Braid and O.J. Howard, how the hell are you going to win? You have no running game, you have no defense, and you can't throw a fucking deep ball 20 yards, and you're playing the New Orleans Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers. That's 0-6 every fucking year. You know what I mean? I need some hope. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Ian B. So let me go over here. I got to finish the question mark for. Or do you think Winston is good enough? No, he's garbage. He'll be better with Arians, but I'm kind of worried because if we get to like 8, 9, 10 wins and somehow maybe we make a wild card at 9 or 10 wins, which I don't want really, right? It'd be cool to have that achievement happen for being me a Buccaneer fan since 2007 they haven't made the playoffs. But I don't want Winston to get extended based off that season with Arians. If he gets sick and then we have Todd Bowles at coach or they promote Byron Leftwich, whatever they decide to do, because I know Leftwich and Jameis will work good together with Arians. I want someone new. Give me somebody new. Jameis is just too immature for me. Have him go somewhere else. I've had enough with him. So, in my opinion, I would have drafted Haskins, but I'm a Saints fan. So the thing is that I'm not as high on Haskins as maybe Marcus or some of the others. He'll be better than Jones on the Giants, but I'm looking for someone, that I can really truly believe in. And Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, I believe in those guys more. My number one's Tua. If I can get Tua on the Bucs, I think it would be kind of a match made in heaven. It would really be exciting to get a guy like that because I really like lefties and they're kind of unorthodox and smooth. But, we have to wait and see. Ian B90, Cowboys got a nice set of linebackers. Arguably, you could say they got the 2 best duo linebackers in the whole entire league. They got 2 guys that you could argue that are in the top 5 or top 6. Very impressive. Young, studs. Jalen Smith, and if you guys don't remember, he was projected to be a number 1 pick that year, but he had the injury at Notre Dame, and then they slid down. The Cowboys took a gamble. They did, obviously, a nice one there, and it paid off for him moving forward. Let's see here. Christian Huezo Sanchez says Deion Jones top 5. He's up there. I wouldn't put him top 5. He got banged up a little bit last year. We're gonna have to see if he can come back fresh with his legs and his ankle and his foot. But I do like Deion Jones. He's one of my favorite players on the Atlanta Falcons. Definitely one of the most athletic guys. Vic Beasley started to show out, but Deion Jones is the best defensive player on Atlanta, and if they're going to make a run, they're going to need their leader to step up and obviously make big plays. But Deion Jones is kind of like, I think on the outside looking in, I would put him somewhere 6 to 8, 6 to 9, but he's up there. He's a stud. One of my favorites. I know Marcus loves Deion Jones. We're big on him. We like him a lot. All right, let me scroll down here with the comments. Elliot Evans. Yeah, Sheldon Rankins is a beast, and nobody really talks about him. Very underrated. Me and Marcus were all about him last season. He's going to be a guy that can make the ultimate, difference in the team. It's like when the Chiefs had Chris Jones. Who? Chris Jones. And he started to dominate for the Chiefs. Having someone, plug up those big holes, stuff those runs, have passion, get some sacks. You know what I mean? Someone that, Cameron Jordan can chest bump with. Get the rest of the defense fired up. You need that. And like I said, the Shelton shimmy. I mean, we might need to, we might have to shake them off, she said. We got to patent that, trademark that. We're going to be coming up with all kinds of nicknames for players this season. NFL Network, ESPN. I better not see any sack lunches again, stealing our content, stealing our catchphrases. Come on, NFL. Come on, ESPN. You guys can come up with your own. The Shelton shimmy, as Christy would say, shake them off. He does a great job. I'm really praying for a real speedy recovery for him, too. 6 ink. Christian Hueso Sanchez, if he wouldn't have been hurt, probably. Agreed. Getting injured and banged up slid him down a little bit. TTG54, do you think the Bucs should sign Jay Ajayi? No, because, Jay Ajayi would be, an upgrade to Ronald Jones. We don't know how good he's going to be from USC. We used to call him a baby Jamal Charles, but then he couldn't learn the playbook. Peyton Barber's not good enough. That's like a third down back trying to play linebacker. Running back. I'm just thinking about linebackers all the time. I'm getting confused here. But, yeah, Peyton Barber, Ronald Jones, they're not good enough. They're third down backs, just a change of pace option. If I could have my dream scenario, I know Chargers fans won't like this, but I'd love to trade for Melvin Gordon. Now, if I can get Melvin Gordon, that's the only player that I really would want, besides maybe moving forward in the draft and getting a running back in the next year. Josh Jacobs from the Raiders would have been nice on Tampa Bay, but they didn't have an opportunity to get him. But Melvin Gordon added to that roster, that would make them definitely contend a little bit more. The defense is still Bootios, as New Day would say, from WWE. Offensive line is Bootios too. Jameis is Bootios. But they do have some nice pieces, fantasy pieces, obviously moving forward. Mike Evans should be nice. Godwin's going to break out this year. And O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate should be really nice. 6 ink. Hey, Orion, which jersey is that? This is my favorite player in the entire world. It is, if you can see that, Derek freaking Brooks, my favorite player in the NFL, period. Class act on and off the field. Without him, this 2002, defensive player of the year, we wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. That's another thing for me in athletes. You got to be a good guy on and off the field. You know what I mean? It really means something to me. Ken Griffey Jr. is my favorite player all time. I met him, when I was 7, first grade. Class act on and off the field. Those are the type of guys I like. Damian Lillard, Blazers, class guy on and off the field. Those are probably my top 3. I like Clyde Drexler, obviously being here in the Pacific Northwest. Drexler was my guy for many, many years, but I really like Dame and what he's doing for the Blazers since I live out here. But Derek Brooks, number 1 for football, and Ken Griffey Jr. is obviously my hero. Meeting him, that was just insane. Mark 4, what about Khalil Mack? Yeah, Khalil Mack is great, but for me, I put kind of Khalil Mack, not necessarily at the linebacker position, because he's kind of like a roamer. He's one of those guys that I kind of have him more on the edge. So it's he does play linebacker at times. He plays D-end at times. It's like Von Miller. Von Miller, you can line Von Miller up at outside linebacker. You can line him up at D-end. You can line him up with 3 fingers in the ground, you know what I mean, and have him just blow up, the offensive lines. So it's not that I don't think Khalil Mack is, top 5 or not in that category, but I kind of have him in a separate category. If you're going to elite football players on defense, obviously, with the players that you have, Aaron Donald 1, Khalil Mack 2, Von Miller 3, and you have some of these other guys like Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, pulling up the rear of the caboose, but I don't put Khalil Mack necessarily in that linebacker spot. He's more of an edge guy to me, even though he can play both, and he's proven that, and he's good at both. Christian Hueso Sanchez, are you going to watch preseason games? You better believe it. I'm going to do live play-by-play. I'm going to react to them as soon as they start coming on. I'm going to be doing as many games as possible. If it kills me, I don't know how many I'm going to be able to do. If I can end up doing 3 games on Saturday for college football, 3 games on Sunday, I don't know if I can do 18 hours and 6 games in 2 days for a full season. I'm going to try. I'm going to give good quality content. I'm going to be here. If people like it, right? Smash the like button. They share it. They donate. I give them something fun. You'll learn something new each time, in a show. I'm going to do it, man. But I'm going to definitely do as many preseason games as possible. I'm a huge football fan, man, if you haven't noticed. Elliot Evans, has anyone else watched the All or Nothing on the Panthers on Amazon Prime? It's very good. I have been hearing about this, left and right. I really want to watch it. I don't have Amazon Prime. I've seen clips on Twitter because I'm on Twitter all the time, and it looks awesome. It looks just like HBO Hard Knocks. Behind the scenes, you get to learn about the players and how they are, how they talk to people on and off the field. That's big stuff. You see if they have any hidden talents, like they play piano or they have some other, basketball talent as an NFL player. I haven't seen it, but I'm really hoping to get to watch it soon. Let's see here. Christian Hueso Sanchez, didn't Mike Evans have like 20 or 30 less grabs and had more yards than Michael Thomas? The thing is Michael Thomas is one of those guys leading the league, in receptions. I think he had 9 touchdowns last season. Even though Mike Evans is on my team, can't guard Mike to me is better. And that says a lot for Mike Evans probably being the best offensive player that the Bucs have had, you could say arguably ever. Mike Allstott was great. We've had some good names, on offense, but he's better than Keyshawn Johnson, when I had him in my Super Bowl run. But there's something about can't guard Mike. You know what I mean? I just don't think people are giving him enough respect. Evans is kind of splashy. He played with Johnny Football and A&M, so people kind of know who he is. To me, Mike Evans is a better version of like A.J. Green, since A.J. Green gets banged up now all the time. But you got to start giving respect to my mans. Michael Thomas, and I'm a Bucs fan, so that says a lot. Six Inc. And just think, when y'all started, mic quality was awful. Y'all too was not that boisterous, and the webcam was filmed from a potato, but now here we are. Well, you had to also think when I started back in the day, I had to travel on like 2 trains, 2 buses, walk 30 minutes to go over to Marcus's maybe friend's laptop, to go on Facebook, to record, for a little while, maybe get 100 views, from some of our friends, maybe 200, 300, you know what I mean? And then have to sacrifice the Michael Jordan rookie card to be able to get this equipment, to get the iMac, to get the speakers, to get the mics, to get all the, the gear, the Jordan rookie card I sold was $5,000. If I didn't believe in me and Marcus, you better believe I wouldn't have sold that. PSA 9, 1986 Michael Jordan rookie card. once he passes away, that thing is going to be worth $15,000. You know what I mean? I took a hit, but it's for my dream and Marcus's dream and the ultimate dream, to open up the YouTube studio here in Nike headquarters in Beaverton so I can make other people's dreams come true. So I know with hard work and dedication, I'll be able to get another one again. But to leave a legacy behind and make other people's dreams come true seriously means more to me than anything. But yeah, we've come a long way. Omer won't miss a video come NFL season. Hopefully a lot of Panther review videos. We're going to try to do every single one. I know you guys have a lot of Panther fans on the page. Agreed. Lots of New Orleans Saints, a lot of Panthers, right? A lot of Eagles, a lot of everybody. Some of the fan bases are a little bit bigger than others. I've only been to one NFL game. It was New Orleans Saints and the Rams in St. Louis, and we lost. Hey, but that's okay. I went to one NFL game, the Seahawks 2005 Super Bowl year when they had Sean Alexander and Hasselbeck, and when they lost to the Steelers. I had 10th row seats on the 20-yard line back then, and it was amazing. And then now I'm going to be able to go to my second game, even though it's preseason for my friend who's a huge Broncos fan. We're going here in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, Broncos versus Seattle, 4th row, 50-yard line behind the Bronco bench. Expensive tickets, like $200 each. Normally I would not spend that much, to a preseason game, let alone I would pay it for regular, no doubt. See Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Russell, see Bobby Wagner. But I want to do my friend a solid because the next day we're going to go see Edgar Martinez bobblehead day where the Rays are coming to play the Mariners. The Mariners might get the, their ass beat, but it'll be fun 2-day trip. We got a nice hotel, Bayview. It's going to be amazing, but I want to be able to see some talent. Hopefully we get to see Noah Fant, rookie tight end for the Broncos, and we get to see some other, pieces, show out a little bit. I'm hoping, not the starters, but get to see a few of the others, but I'm excited. So, you got to pick and choose. I mean, NFL games are super expensive, regardless if it's preseason or NFL regular season. Let's see here. 6 Ink. Same goes with Saints fans. Agreed. All right, only one game. Man, get your ass to the dome. It's always rocking. One of these days, Christy, I promise you, once I get my bag up, I get my cheddar up, me and Marcus can, I'm going to come out. I hope you guys will, open me, with welcome open arms. I really want, it's on my bucket list. I really want to go to a Nolens Saints game. I don't even have to wear my Bucks gear, you know what I mean? I could wear it. I'm not afraid. People will know who we are at that point, but I'd really want to go. I feel it's like one of those things like seeing the Cubs, with the Ivy, going to New York to see the Yankees, or, going to certain places to watch football games, Green Bay, Lambeau. Like, there's things that I really want to do, before it's all said and done, and going to the Dome would be amazing. It wouldn't even have to be necessarily Bucks versus Saints, but if it was, that would probably be ultimate for me, just to be able to see all the talent that I love for the Nolens Saints and to see my team, hopefully get better and better as we move forward. Let's see here. You guys see Melvin got an offer for 10 to 11 million. I didn't. Now, he's not getting too much. I think he's only getting roughly like 4 to 5. So, I mean, he's worth to me 10, 11, 12. So I don't really know how many years and whatnot, but I mean, I hope he gets into camp. If not, trade him to the Bucks. I'll take him right now. They were asking for how long, 6 Ink says. I don't know how many years. Couldn't see anywhere. Just know our GM said he's playing here. Cooper, Donnell. Yo, Coop. How are you? Interesting. Yep, I'm curious. Let's see here. Mark 4, when are you doing record predictions for each team? That's a good question. Probably after I see a few weeks of preseason, play, and we'll see if there's any significant injuries, which I hope that isn't the case. So that way I can kind of get a gauge. Damon! Eagles fly. What is good, my guy? I did a bunch of videos today, man. I'm not sure if you've been able to see any. We did an AK-41 happy birthday video. We did a Madden 20 video, a reaction, some actual game play. This is the third. Great to see you, Damon. You're one of my favorites on the channel. Playing Madden 07, don't ask me why. I want to take advantage of the great franchise mode. Agreed. That is a good one. Cooper, I'm so excited for Madden 20. If you guys aren't really, sure about Madden 20, go look at our video. The highlights is sweet. I mean, there's a couple videos out there, little demo modes, beta modes that are out. It looks insane. Damon, just don't know what team to play it with. On which one? On the 07 or on Madden 20? I mean, if it's Madden 20, Eagles, man, it's your team, right? I get it in like 4 days. Is that when it comes out? Already in 4 days? Man, shit, I need to get ready. Same. Christian Huezo Sanchez. If y'all watch Falcons games, watch out for Fozdedi Olakun. I think he will break out soon once he learns to tackle better. See, I like that. When you start breaking down some names that people have no idea who you're talking about, I love it. Educate them. Let them know. It's going to be some great football games in the NFC South. I'm going for Oklahoma in the QB1 mode. I'm kind of interested to see what like college teams are in there. I know there's some. It should be insane. I really want to get into it, though, and I want to play it. Some of the fan bases are a bit bigger than others. I feel attacked. If you're a Chargers guy, I'm a Bucks guy, man. Everyone beats up on me. Look at some of the other teams, but the Chargers have a great team. They have a great chance to get to a Super Bowl this year, get Melvin in camp. Derwin James, Melvin Ingram, Bosa. You got a roster. Keenan Allen, Phillip. Nothing to worry about. Damon, I might do Oregon or the U. I love Oregon, man. You have no idea what it's like out here. You go to an Oregon Ducks game, it's more exciting than a Seahawk game. It's I've been to Blazers, I've been to Ducks, I've been to Beavers. Pretty much anything sport related around in the Northwest I've been to, and the Duck experience. Tailgating, it's insane. Just insane. Beer pong for days, beer, dogs, burgers. It's super lit out there, and there's so many fans. It's like 50, 60,000. It's one of the best sports experiences. I wouldn't live in Eugene, but I definitely love going there, 2, 3, 4 times a year, and usually I can get a pretty good ticket. Cooper, Chargers probably have the least amount of fans. I don't think so, man. I think San Diego people are pissed that they left and went to Los Angeles. I want them to go back to San Diego. The Chargers are one of those teams that you should kind of root for. Root for Philip to get the ring. If Breeze doesn't get the ring this year and the Chargers make it, Philip deserves the ring. He's one of those guys that's, just a grinder. How many kids does he have? Like 20. No, he's probably got like 10, but you know what I mean? He's one of those guys that, he keeps grinding it out, and, to really cement his legacy to get a ring would be huge, at least for me, in my opinion. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks to not have a ring, and I don't want him to go down in history as one of the greatest to never have a ring, like Dan Marino and John Elway. That's big facts. The legendary Diamond Miner, Bobby Wagner, must be on the list. He was number 1. You can go back and look at the list. I'll do a review of the list. Matthew Sanchez, what up? What did I miss? AK-41 birthday video, reaction video, Madden 20 reaction video, and then this video, Matthew Sanchez. I'll go over it since both of you just came into the room. Honorable mention, NFL, Northwest Sports Fanatics, top 5 linebackers going into the 2019 season. Jalen Smith at number 6. Levante David, out of order, number 7. Leighton Vander Esch, number 5. CJ Mosley, number 4. Darius Leonard, number 3. Luke Kuechly, number 2. And number 1, Bobby Wagner. I had a lot of stats to go along with that. I can go over that towards the end, but I'm glad both of you guys are here. Patriots fan base will be the smallest once Brady leaves. We'll see. Obviously if Belichick and Brady go, you still have McDaniels, and then it's scary because you don't know who he's going to bring in. He brings in some phenom. They got Stidham from Auburn. I don't know if that's the guy that's going to lead the way after, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, Joe Burns, what do you think the Jets' record will be this season? There's a lot of guys. We got a couple guys that are big Bills guys, Bills Mafia. I honestly do like the Jets' chance to make the playoffs this season as a wild card. They're not going to beat New England, so anyone that thinks that they're going to beat New England in the AFC East is crazy. It's not going to happen this season, but I think the Jets and the Bills are going to battle it out, right? Sam Darnold, second year, better progression. You got Le'Veon Bell, who could win the rushing title this season and get back to being the old Le'Veon Bell from Pittsburgh, right? A little thin at wide receiver, right? A little thin at tight end. O-line has some issues. Defense, CJ Mosley from the Ravens, I love, right? Jamal Adams, I love even more. So they have pieces, but it might take, some time. But I think if I had to predict the Jets' record, I think that, easily they can get to 9-7 or 10-6 if they underachieve 8-8. But I would be really shocked if the Jets don't get to at least 8 wins. But I think that if they can stay free of the injury bug, I think 9 or 10 isn't unattainable. And if you get 10, you might be able to get the wild card. I do like the Jets moving forward. Their uniforms are swaggy, all black. They changed the helmet to the green instead of the white. They needed some new swag. And I think the Jets are going to be really fun to watch. And then if you got Le'Veon Bell in fantasy, obviously you're going to be watching every single freaking game. You already know, man. Number 1, Patriots will be good without TB12 if they have Bill Belichick. Agreed. You have the system in place. That's, definitely big facts. Let's see here. 16, Cooper. Damn, you got a point. Patriots will always be good because their division is garbage. But, Elliot, remember, the division isn't garbage. The Bills and the Jets are on their way. This isn't the same Bills and Jets teams, from the years past. The Bills are building. Josh Allen is going to get better. The Jets got Le'Veon Bell. They got CJ Mosley. Both of the teams, the Bills and the Jets, are going to get to a point where they start hitting 9 and 10 wins pretty consistently. They may alternate, like Jets 1 year, 9 wins. Then the next year, maybe the Bills get 9 or 10 wins. But they're not going to be teams that win 3 games anymore or 4 games. If any team's going to be like that, it's the Miami Dolphins. They're the worst team in football, I believe. They're going to be on the back burner until they get their future franchise guy. If they get Tua, or Trevor Lawrence or Herbert, then maybe they can start going in a trending upwards motion. But they're getting better. Like I said, I read about every single team. I watch every single team. I kind of, I'm able to go over everything with Marcus too. They're going to be better than you think. The New Orleans Saints are amazing, but don't sleep on teams like that. Like when the Bills, I believe, are going to play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, right? It's going to be tough because it's in Dallas, I would assume, because Thanksgiving. But if the Bills upset the Cowboys, don't be surprised. I think there's a chance. Josh Allen, if he can take the next step. They're deep at running back. They got good defense. Edmonds, linebacker. They got lots of Ed Oliver in the draft up front, who could be like a Warren Sapp kind of player, an Aaron Donald kind of ish player. He's really nasty, right? Lots of aggression. they're better. You'll see. I'll prove you guys wrong. They'll be a little bit better. Let's see here. Legendary Diamond Miner, go Hawks. Damon says, I'm about to catch that Madden 20 video after this, but it's looking like Mahomes will be the next Vic. Mahomes is going to be probably better than Vic. Mahomes might be the guy that I don't even know who to really compare him to. As far as touchdowns are concerned, if you think that he's not going to get close to 50, I think you're wrong. I mean, I think that he's going to have over 40 TDs. Is it going to be 50? I mean, probably not. I mean, but with the weapons that you have and Tyreek not getting suspended, I could see mid-40s, 40 to 45. It wouldn't really surprise me. He might even get a few more on the ground. He can move around. He's athletic. Probably the most exciting quarterback in the league, as far as new, young, fresh talent. We haven't seen anybody like him before. Christy says, Nola, baby. Love you, Christy. Elway has a ring. Right. Well, I was just saying Dan Marino. Obviously Elway with me, is one of those guys that he almost didn't get a ring towards the end of the end of the run. But it's like I can't even count that because you had to have Terrell Davis. If he didn't have Terrell Davis, he wouldn't even have gotten a ring. You know what I mean? It's just kind of my mindset. I mean, because if you look at the Denver Broncos and how many Super Bowls they went to prior to getting TD, they had so many chances. They ran into some good teams. But Dan Marino, to me, ultimately is the best quarterback that never got a ring, better than Phillip Rivers. But I think Elway, it's just like he always needed a running back, but TD was such a stud. If they didn't have him, Shannon Sharp, they wouldn't have won it. So that's big facts. All right, let's keep going here. Let's see what else you guys have to say. Cooper says there's Oregon, USC, Oklahoma, LSU, Clemson, Texas, Texas Tech, Florida, and Florida State. Holy shit, that is awesome. I can't wait. I'm definitely doing Oregon. And that is awesome. Matthew Sanchez, man, I've been really hard for you to rank Luke and Wagner, but it's let's be honest. And ever since those guys got drafted, those two are like studs. And I really hope Luke gets his ring very soon. You may have to wait a little while. I meant as far as Madden. Vic was a cheat code. Oh, I know, especially in that one. I'm trying to think of what year it was. Madden. God, what year was it? When he was just like a 99 speed and you could just run like a QB sweep and he would just run in. Damon, thank you so much for your $2 donation. Christy, the $9.99. It's like it's like almost like you're ordering Netflix. You know what I mean? I'm not on friendship probation. You're ordering Netflix, $9.99 for your boy and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. You guys are great. We'll see if Luke Kuechly gets a ring. But you know what I mean? If it's one of those things where you had the 15-1 season, you know what I mean, and you only have maybe one more chance in the Cam Newton era to get there again, you got to make it count. You got to keep, building the roster. One thing, though, you can be excited for is Brian Burns out of Florida State. That guy is going to end up being one of your favorite players, period. Go watch his tape. Go on YouTube and type his name in, right, and watch his highlights. He'll get you excited. He has potential to be better than like a Gerald McCoy, even though it's like different position. He's more of an edge guy. He won't be probably as good as Luke Kuechly, but I mean, you could have another really big name guy to add to that defense because I don't know how long Gerald McCoy is going to be there. But Brian Burns, look for him. I really like his game. Ro Garcia, damn, I'm late, but that's okay. We got Alvin Kamara birthday video, highlight tribute, right? We had the Madden 20 reaction video with a full game, 3 minutes long, with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. And then we got this video. You're here. That's all that matters. Appreciate that you made it. Let's see here. Luke's leadership and effort is one of a kind. Sincerely, a Saints fan. Look at those kind words. When people recognize talent and they see it on and off the field, I mean, it's inevitable not to give someone a compliment like that. I mean, see, that's the thing that I'm trying to do as far as YouTube and YouTubers is like, it's one thing to be competitive and, you can have that rival team and you can have hate. But once you start opening your eyes and appreciate the NFL for what it is, a league, and great players on every team, even if it's on your rival, you'll appreciate football more. It's not just for fantasy purposes for, getting that $100 at the end of the year and the bragging rights in fantasy football. It's just appreciating talent because the thing is, you never know when that player that's on that other team that you want to talk shit about or whatever, oh, that guy sucks, he might end up being on your team later on in his career. So you want to be able to, kind of give respect where respect is due. At least that's how I go about it. And that's why our channel is unique compared to anyone that's on YouTube or TV today, and that is big facts. Let's see here. Open arms, doors, food, and drink. Welcome to the 504 from the 503. Christy, much love. I might have to book my ticket right now. I mean, $9.99 is not enough, but I'm getting there. Mr. Nguyen, what's good, homie? What is good, my guy? Great to see you. You got a lot of videos to catch up on. We got 3 today, but you know what? I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Yeah, I know. I just wish that we could have kept Thomas Davis. I love Thomas Davis. Heart of a champion. You tear your ACL, then you tear the ACL or MCL, PCL in the other knee, and then you tear it again in the other knee. Heart and soul of the defense. You know what Thomas Davis is? He's the Derrick Rose of the NFL. Never quit. Keep grinding. Keep fighting. I love him. Demario Davis. I got an ESPN alert on my phone, so something happened. Let me know. Demario Davis is a stud. Nolans Saints all day. He did not make it as an honorable mention. I guess we'll have to forgive but I do give him credit. You know, he's the glue. He's my glue guy, a.k.a. the glue. If you guys didn't have Demario Davis, that's a big shoes to fill. Might be the most underrated linebacker in football. So if I do an underrated video tomorrow, cough, cough, you might be able to see a name like that up there. Big respect for Demario. And, Nolans Saints fans, you guys know him. I know him. Marcus knows him. But I feel that as far as NFL fans across the country, they have no idea who he is. I mean, they might know the number or have seen some plays, but, doesn't get the respect that he deserves. So it's cool to see even fans like you. It's not all about Cameron Jordan. It's not all about Drew Brees all the time. It's about the other guys. It's a team sport. You need everyone to be able to, fill the shoes. And, please forgive me. But you know what? Top 5 linebacker and then honorable mention and then underrated sleeper. Sometimes those underrated sleeper guys are just as important because you can go from underrated to sleeper to top 10. And you know what I mean? Like you can keep climbing the ladder, depending on how hard you grind. It's like right now, like with our channel, we started off with barely any subs, you know what I mean? And I knew that it would take a long time, but I told Marcus if we grind it out, we started recording 2012, 13. I told him it might take 10 years before we get to a point where we're comfortable and we're never satisfied. So, Demario Davis is the glue guy. We're trying to be the glue guys here on YouTube, so you better believe it. Let's see here. Sadly, not on the list. Definitely underrated, but there are so many talented linebackers in the league. That's big facts. Damon with the donation. Michael Vick was a cheat code. 04. That was it. God, I had that one. That was just insane. You just couldn't stop him. It's like the fastest guy in the game. Byron Anderson. What up, my guy? I'm glad you're in the room. Good to see you. Cooper. Yeah, when a Mahomes throws a crossbody in Madden 20, it's a no-looker. Yeah, I seen the highlights. I watched. That was the only thing that I saw prior to our reaction video with the gameplay throughout the whole game that I've seen. It looks fucking sick. I literally cannot wait. I mean, I got Madden from last year. I got 2K. I'm looking for the new one for basketball. I like to play Grand Theft Auto 5 a lot. I just blow off some steam when I have some time. But usually I'm reading so much. Obviously, you guys know I'm recording so much. And then I'm working full time. I don't have a lot of time to do those things, but I try to make some time here and there. Madden 2004, 99 speed. Yeah. Greatness recognizes greatness. And Saints fans are the greatest, he says. Yeah. And I've always kind of wondered, too. I mean, I know it's rare. Even if I wasn't a Bucs fan, if I was a fan of just any other team, just to give so much praise. And when I'm giving the praise, it's like, it's real. It's legitimate. It's not just for money. It's not for subs. It's not like when you come up on YouTube and you're seeing people do like made up skits that's fake and it's all staged. It's like Jerry Springer shit. It's like a lot of these big YouTubers that have like 1 million subscribers. I feel it's not even like real anymore. Everything is staged and fake. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be like that. It's just crazy to me. But greatness recognizes greatness. You said it great right there. Let's see here. Matthew Sanchez. I'm still in shock that the Saints haven't signed Michael Thomas yet. Yet it'll be like an absolute shock to see him go another team. He won't. Panthers fan Michael Thomas is meant to stay with. Yeah, he'll be there. He's just worth the money. I mean, you know what I mean? You got to pay that man. He should be the highest paid wide receiver in football. Yeah, I said it. The highest paid wide receiver in football. DeAndre Hopkins, you could say he's the best. Can't guard Mike is 2, very close. 1A, 1B. AB, Antonio Brown, to me, is the 3rd. And then I got Julio Jones at 4. You could argue with me all day until you're blue in the face. Julio doesn't get in the end zone enough for me. AB is a touchdown machine. He grinds harder than anybody for a short wide receiver. You're not going to get really anybody better except for maybe DeAndre Hopkins, who's got the best hands. But Can't Guard Mike is on his way of proving that he's in that same mode. 3 seasons in, he ain't slowing down. And when Drew Brees leaves, the numbers are still going to be good. I hope he ends up being a Nolans Saint for life. Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, I'm hoping. And I'm a rival. I'm a Buck fan, and I can say that. Great players. Let's see here. Let me see. Drew Brees is a top 3 quarterback. Let's be real. Top 3 all time or top 3 this season? I love Drew Brees. Like I said, Alvin Kamara is my favorite running back in the league. I'm a Buccaneer fan, so even though I love the Bucks, I love me some Alvin Kamara, AK-41, the alien, Area 41. Let's see. Yeah, they'll never let Michael Thomas go, Matthew Sanchez. You know that. Y'all going to get $30K after this NFL season for sure. That's my goal. You know what I mean? Right now, we're just under 20. I told Marcus I want us to get to $30K, you know what I mean, after football season, like around at least to $30K. We're at 2.5 plus million views. Hopefully we get to like 4, a little bit over that. And every year in football, I'm hoping that we can gain about, 10,000 fans or more each year. But if I start grinding and doing these videos, as much as I am every day or as much as I can, as long as I'm not sick or, something's wrong, we should have a nice steady growth. I think once we get to 50K, the jump to 50K subs to 100K subs will be big because at some point we'll have to go viral on some kind of show. Someone will see us, NFL player, Good Morning Football, somebody tags us in, some other website or something from one of our videos. But the grind is real, but I kind of like it. You know what I mean? You got to work hard for your dreams. They're not going to just happen. But I try to give you guys the quality content with Marcus and, all the great praise that you guys give us. And you guys are always here. So that means a lot to me because you guys could be doing something else. I'm watching NFL Total Access, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. from Browns training camp. They look good. But I'm always going to be grinding here with you guys too. But yeah, Mr. Nguyen, I'm grinding all day, all night. I like I was saying earlier, I'm going to try to do 3 college football games, live reaction, play-by-play. That's 9 hours. And I'm going to try to do 3 NFL games the next day, all season long. 9 hours and 9 hours. And then Monday Night Football, another 3 hours. So was that 9, 18, 21 hours in 3 days. I don't think anyone on YouTube is doing that. So hopefully that they'll like it. Hopefully you guys can share it, love it, support me and Marcus, and we can grow. You know what I mean? But I feel, honestly, not to, brag or whatever, but as far as like sports knowledge and entertainment, I feel that we're up there. I don't think there's very many YouTube channels that compare with us. And, as long as we put in the hard work and we have the support of you guys, we're going to keep growing. It may take a little longer than, some people want, but, I feel that I can compete with just about anybody, but with the amount of tape that I watch and the amount of reading. Marcus puts a lot of dedication into the channel as well. We're one of the best duos on YouTube, period. And that's not to be cocky, but I think it's big facts. I mean, I think we've proven it. It's only been a couple years and we're already at almost 20,000 subscribers. So I think the results speak for themselves. But it's because of you guys. It's because of fans like you. You know what I mean? That's why we do it. I love you guys. 2K brother for the season, definitely all time. That's up for debate. Interesting. So what team should I roll with in Madden 07? I don't want to use my team for once. Madden 07. Let's see. You have to go back and think of like who was good back then. It's a good question. I mean, I'd probably roll with an NFC team. So obviously if you're an Eagles fan, you can't be anybody in your division. So you may want to kind of explore some other teams there. I mean, you could go AFC too. I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. Michael Vick? He dominates, doesn't he? I don't know. You have to kind of see on, rosters and how things are built. But, I mean, why not play with the Eagles? I mean, that's your team, right? Let's see. A game I played to blow off Steam's Doom. If y'all don't know what that is, don't search it. Y'all going to see me in a different way. Hey, I used to play Doom all the time. Wolfenstein 3D, right? On PC. I used to be all over that. Online. Back in the day with some like ghetto booty internet. It was super fun, though. Patrick Mahomes will be the greatest quarterback when he retires. Debatable. Great first season, but you can't just have one great season or 2 or 3 to say you're the greatest. You know what I mean? This is one of the greatest first seasons to be a starter since it was his second season, but a big part of it was sitting behind Alex Smith and learning from Andy Reid, you know what I mean, and being in Andy Reid's system. If he was in someone else's system, he wouldn't get 50 touchdowns. I'll tell you that right now. He would have had a good year, probably 35 to 40, 45, somewhere in there, but it's being in that system definitely took it to the next level, and having Travis Kelce, the best tight end, Tyreek the Freak Hill broke out, Damian Williams did great. I mean, look at all the weapons that you had. Sammy Shaboing Boing Watkins. I mean, you had pieces on pieces on pieces, Let's see here. Christie, he will be the highest paid bet in Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is going to be a guy that ends up getting $40 million a year. He's going to have the richest contract. You could pay that guy $40 million a year, $50 million a year. I mean, however much money the salary cap allows you to pay a guy like that, he will be the highest paid. That's big facts. To be honest, this is my opinion. Falcons fans may disagree with me. This is coming from Matthew Sanchez, but I think Michael Thomas is even better than Julio Jones and Antonio Brown. No disrespect to those receivers. This is just opinion. Well, I have Michael Thomas, at number 2, but it's more like 1A and 1B, DeAndre Hopkins is up there just because of the garbage quarterbacks that he plays with. His hands and route running are elite. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's very close with a lot of those guys. But I don't think Michael Thomas gets enough respect. That's why I need to let people know on YouTube, other than Saints fans, how good Alvin Kamara is. People know how good Drew Brees is, but people don't know how good Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas are. So I'm trying to educate everybody and let them know, rivalries aside, you gotta understand who has the talent. And, even though Michael Thomas isn't a household name just yet, he will be. You'll see. Alvin Kamara also. Mr. Nguyen, are you excited for Ndamukong Suh? I'm ecstatic because when I lost Gerald McCoy, a little tear rolled down, you know what I mean? I was like, man, one of the best guys on my team, from Oklahoma. And then obviously you don't want to pay him the money. At least you got a guy that's respectable, had a great year for the Rams. I wish it was longer than 1 year. But if he can make the most of this 1 year and help the rest of the guys out, that'll be great. But, I mean, if the defense is bad. Devin White from LSU, top 5 pick, will be amazing. Levante David will be amazing. Sue will be amazing. But they got so many holes. Secondary's really not that good. The O-line's not good. They have no running backs. I mean, my tight ends and wide receivers are the shit, but quarterback sucks. Long year, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to hopefully some W's, maybe some upsets, but, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. Finally, someone realizes it, but like you said, still not discrediting Julio. Yeah, Julio's great. My only problem with Julio is the most physically gifted athlete that we've seen since Megatron, Calvin Johnson, right? But the difference between Calvin Johnson and Julio, Calvin Johnson knows how to get in the fucking end zone. Julio doesn't get in the end zone enough, right? If you're fucking like 6'4", 6'5", you got the speed, the power, the hands, the agility, you can do it all. How the hell do you get fucking 5 or 6 touchdowns? That's it. The red zone, play calling is horrible for them, but they're going back to Dirk Cutter, my old coach, so maybe they'll be able to open it up again. Once Kyle Shanahan left, the play calling went to all hell, you know what I mean? But, it's all about being able to score. Yeah, you can get 113 receptions, and yeah, you can get 15 or 1,600 yards, but ultimately, you got to get double-digit touchdowns or very close to like an 8 or 9, closer to that double digits if possible. And for a guy that's that physically gifted, it's just every year it seems like he kind of lets me down. AJ Green also, big, tall, physical guy. It's like 7 years, 7 Pro Bowls, amazing guy, but he just gets hurt for me too much. And that's why I have guys like Can't Guard Mike ahead of him now. And I don't think that AJ's ever going to be able to catch up to him. And that's just, personal opinion, moving forward. So let's see here. All time, he's one of the greatest QBs. If he wins the ring this year, he's without a doubt a top 2. I mean, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Joe Montana, Tom Brady. I mean, it's up for debate. Lots of good names, But as far as short quarterbacks are concerned, Drew Brees is the best of all time. But you got a guy like Russell Wilson. He's trying to prove also, being kind of a shorter guy, that he can get it done. But 2 of the most amazing, shorter guys at quarterback that we've ever seen. But as far as like leadership, getting guys pumped up, my funnest thing and the thing that I look forward to the most in Nolans Saints games is Drew Brees' pep talk that they have the camera on before the game. To me, that's one of the greatest things in NFL history. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback, let alone a tall quarterback or a short guy, demand the respect. Everyone's eyes are focused on Drew Brees, and they believe in him. It's not like when Jameis Winston says something and it falls on deaf ears. He's trying to lick his fingers and get W's like an idiot. Drew Brees says something, you listen. They play hard for him. He's like a ride or die. It's like, having a friend that will ride or die for you for life. A lifer is what we call it out here, in the Northwest. Lifers. I got a lot of lifers. I don't have a lot of like, you can have a lot of acquaintances and a lot of friends, 500, 600, 800, 1,000 on Facebook. But if you got 5 lifers that'll ride or die for you if you need anything, I mean, that's really what it's about. How you treat people and, how you treat them, and leaving a legacy behind. Drew Brees is that guy. Lenny D. What up, Orion? What's up, Lenny D? Elliott Evans to Matthew Sanchez. Thomas is better than Julio and AB for sure, but I got to respect Hopkins. He's the best. He's one of those guys, too, that didn't get a lot of respect for a lot of years just because he had garbage quarterbacks. But if you just look at his stats year in and year out, the stats don't lie. And like I said, AB was the best wide receiver, up until maybe last year, and he still had a 15-touchdown year. To me, AB was the best wide receiver for about a 4 or 5 year period. This Thomas started kind of coming up. DeAndre Hopkins, I had him normally around 2, 3, 4, just like Julio. But AB is one of those guys that's got his chip on his shoulder, and if AB starts getting to the point where he ends up overtaking Michael Thomas and he overtakes DeAndre Hopkins and is number one again, don't be surprised. I'm not really sold on Carr at quarterback. They need to get someone better for John Gruden that's more accurate. But, if you see what he does as far as working out and prepping for the season, nobody works harder, at least behind the scenes. He's on social media so we can see it, but his brick work, his balance work, just the how much effort he's putting in. I haven't seen anyone put in this kind of effort at wide receiver, changing teams, I think, ever. So I think Antonio Brown has a lot to prove. And for a guy that wasn't drafted high to a guy that's, first ballot Hall of Fame, it says a lot. Look at his yards. Look at his receptions. Look at his touchdowns. For me, comparing Antonio Brown to Julio, it's not even close. I would take Antonio Brown all day. Nothing against Julio, but AB is a full package. Toe drag swag on the sideline, he's better. Running routes, he's better. He may be a little smaller, but his passion is like a lion. It's undoubtable. Hopkins is a beast. Top 2 wide receiver right now. I love DeAndre Hopkins. Garbage quarterbacks until Deshaun Watson finally came along. Thank God. Hopkins is number 1. Cooper, Hopkins 1. Thomas 2. Julio 3. Brown 4. Hill 5. Troll Patrol, fly, Eagles fly. Look at RG3. Elliott Evans, Hopkins 1, Thomas 2, Brown 3, Julio 4, 5, Hill. Tyreek the Freak Hill. I wouldn't put Tyreek at 5. He's starting to he's more like a special teams guy that's starting to blossom with Patrick Mahomes. But if you didn't have a quarterback as good as Mahomes, how good would Tyreek the Freak really be? It's kind of like a plug-and-play guy. It was like a DeAnthony Thomas kind of guy, but better. Definitely a speedster, but I definitely would have guys over probably Tyreek the Freak Hill at wide receiver. But he's getting there. He's getting better. DeAndre Hopkins is meant to be one of the greatest receivers, future Hall of Famer. That is facts. You know it is. Hopkins is up to Allen's level of underrated. He is not given enough credit, just like Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, to me, is the most underrated wide receiver in football. Keenan Allen is better than Tyreek the Freak Hill, in my personal opinion. Just he's a grinder. Sometimes his numbers for touchdowns are a little low, but as far as his route running, his speed, passion, what he brings on and off the field, the mentoring, he's one of those guys that is not the biggest name. If you watch football, you know who he is, but they have him normally somewhere between like 8 to 15, but he's a lot better than that. That's just me, my personal opinion of watching every team, every wide receiver. Keenan Allen is probably the most underrated player on offense, you could argue, in the NFL. To me, on defense, I think it's probably Cameron Jordan from New Orleans Saints. He doesn't get enough respect either. You know what I mean? Just watch the tape. It just depends on if you watch these guys a lot or you don't. You know what I mean? But if you go in and watch the highlight reel and you see what they do and how they really work against their opponents, it's a fun thing to watch. What about top 5 rookie receivers? Troll Patrol. Maybe a good video for tomorrow. I can go over that. There's some potential there. Hollywood Brown, obviously Antonio Brown is related to him, so there's going to be some nice pieces there. A lot of the rookie wide receivers are going to be in that 500 to 600 range with 5 TDs. There may not be an explosion guy at wide receiver. We're going to have to kind of wait and see, but I'll get into that Troll Patrol probably tomorrow. Cooper. I like Julio over Brown just because Brown has had a bad locker room presence. On a skill, probably Brown, but I'd rather have Julio if I was a GM. Yeah, there are personalities out there. But for me, I like Antonio Brown better because Julio gets injured more. When you're not on the field, you're not helping pay the bills and getting the W's. You don't get in the end zone enough. It shouldn't have to be just based off play calling. In the red zone, you're not that good. Antonio Brown is a machine, okay? And he's not going to quit. I respect your opinion, but I would go AB. Sting like a butterfly. Sting like a butterfly. You hear me? Sting like a butterfly. Fly like AB. All right? Antonio Brown all day. He's going to have a great year, even if Carr sucks. I know it. double-digit touchdowns. Big facts. He's gonna really prove a lot of people wrong. I don't think they're gonna go to the playoffs, right? The Raiders, right? But when they go to Vegas, they'll make the playoffs at least 1 year. Mr. Nguyen, Devin White going to be a stud and will win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Not to be a homer, but that's my pick. I think he's going to be the next Patrick Willis, Ray Lewis 2.0. He's going to be the Darius Leonard of this year. I'm calling it. I think he's going to have a huge impact. I'm buying his jersey. Remember, I told you I tried reaching out to him. I was like, man, help me out. Help me find a jersey. I need one. I need a white one, like my Levante David. I don't want to have a custom one. I want to get one from, the Bucs website. So I think he's going to have a huge impact. Devin Bush, right? Another guy from the Pittsburgh Steelers from Michigan. Watch out for him. He's going to be the next Ryan Shazier. He's going to be a big time player over there. Ed Oliver, maybe the next Warren Sapp, Aaron Donald on Buffalo. Lots of talent. Josh Allen, right? Not the quarterback, right? From Kentucky. Jacksonville Jags. Lots of good players. It's going to be exciting. Yeah, you guys got a good job picking Devin White. Sucks that we have to face him 2 times a year, but when McCoy left my team, shocked that we were able to sign him and sign him up. Yeah, I know. No kidding. That was crazy. I would rather a quiet Julio on my team than an obnoxious loudmouth with a diluted level of pride. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? Like certain guys, it depends on who's on your team. Because a lot of people could say that about Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas talks a lot, right? Michael Thomas is perceived to some people as a punk. You know what I mean? A guy that talks a lot of shit. You know what I mean? And you can talk shit and back it up. Not every wide receiver is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I mean? Or be like a Marvin Harrison back in the day where they just put their head down, they get the grabs. They don't even necessarily do like this, first down. You know what I mean? They just kind of hand the ball to the ref and they're kind of quiet and humble. Not a lot of fist pumping. I mean, wide receivers are a different breed of animal. Some guys show more emotion than others, but just because a guy talks some shit or shows some emotion, you don't know what he's going through. A lot of these guys, have personal issues. Imagine, if you were in school and you were getting bullied and you were always talking shit to people and people thought you were a punk, but they didn't realize that maybe, you were getting yelled at home or you had a bad home life. Maybe mom and dad was making it hard for you. And sometimes players are misunderstood. You can't really judge someone if you don't know what's going on in their life. Like for me, when I was growing up, there was a point instead of me being like really humble, that I feel like I'm, kind of more in that mode now. And you know what I mean? Like I was one of those guys that would mouth off once in a while. I had a really rough, home life growing up. It was tough. I don't know if you've ever had someone yell at you, for like 10 hours a day for like 10 to 15 years of your life. You know what I mean? Like it's not fun. You know what I mean? And it makes you build character and it makes you stronger. You know what I mean? And then obviously me being in, in phone sales, a lot of people can't handle someone, telling you to, fuck you or saying some, stuff and you can't say anything back, because it's your job. You know what I mean? But being mentally strong is one of those things with the hard times that you go through. It makes you stronger. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like I'm able to, do that type of job for as long as I have. I mean, I've been on the phones doing phone sales, not just for Verizon Business, but for about 20 years. Not a lot of people can do sales in person, let alone when they can't see you and it's just your voice alone. It takes a lot. You know what I mean? So remember that next time, even though you see guys and they seem obnoxious and a diva, you don't really know the full story. You know what I mean? And if you watch Antonio Brown outside of football and see what kind of father he is to his kids, it's pretty amazing to see. So remember that, moving forward. But I mean, it comes across from an outsider looking in. Yeah, God, this guy's a punk, the diva, you know what I mean? But you gotta be able to kind of take it with a grain of salt too. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't know the whole story. Damon, remember Chris Sims on the Bucs? No, I don't. Yeah, I do. What a Buster Brown, man. Phil Sims' son, nowhere near. You know what? He couldn't. If you ever watch the old tape with like John Gruden when he's trying to teach him, like the plays like Spider 2Y Banana, and he calls a play and it's like 20 words and he can't get it right. And he's like, fucking Chris. Like, you know what I mean? You just can't remember. It's like such a complex play. It's like literally like the slot receiver's route, the running back's route, like the protection. It's like 20 fucking words. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would be hard for anyone to memorize that, but yeah, Chris Sims, man, let's forget about Chris Sims. I want to move forward. Yes, that was a hot take. Devin White, Christy says, will be a beast. Go Tigers in the appropriate spelling. Geaux. I love LSU players. Love them. Patrick Peterson. Love them. Plenty of other guys. Honey Badger. I love them. I mean, these LSU guys are some of the best pros. Some of the guys, have some tough times from LSU, but I mean, Devin White, gosh, I mean, I'm so excited. This is, like I said, I haven't been this excited for a Bucks player since Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp. So, I mean, if he can be anything like them, and add that with the compliment of Levante David, who I've loved now for like the last 7 or 8 years, it's going to be exciting. Hopefully the Bucks can win some games. I've watched Devin White since high school. Dude was a beast. And the thing is that I think that it's the character off the field and the respect that he deserves, the sideline to sideline, his speed and his overall ability to know and anticipate routes is one of the best I've seen from the position. I mean, Darius Leonard was like that too, but Devin White has a chance to be really something special and to be kind of that franchise guy for the Bucks moving forward. All right, let's see here. Elliot Evans. Yes, Drew Brees' pep talk is so inspirational. It's probably like the most inspirational, 2 minutes that you get to kind of peek in with the camera when it goes in there. I almost feel it's like you're not supposed to be seeing the words that he's saying, and he acts pretty much like he's phasing out the camera. Like he's still saying what he would say if the camera wasn't there. He's not doing it to get ratings or whatever. You know what I mean? How he does it when the camera's there and the camera's not there, it's the same. The only other inspirational pep talk is maybe Ray Lewis on defense to get his guys going. I mean, it makes the hair stand up, and it's even if you're not a Saints fan, you're yeah, you know what I mean? I'm ready for football. Drew Brees is going to fuck shit up. You know what I mean? It gives you that kind of confidence where that, the Saints are going to go in, and especially in the Dome, the Dome is insane. It's probably one of the coolest places for me on TV to watch, football. I mean, I love the Nolans Saints. People are damn, just be a Nolans Saints fan already. I know, man, shit. But, Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp got me, but it is what it is. Let's see here. J.J. Trilla, Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has 2 of the top 5 linebackers in the NFL. That's pretty big facts. You could say 2 of the top 5 or 2 of the top 6. Earlier in the video, you could definitely argue with Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. They have the best duo linebacker in the whole entire league, and that's big facts. Love both of those players. Took a risk on Jalen Smith. It panned out. I watched pretty much every game Leighton Vander Esch played at Boise State. I knew what type of talent you guys were getting. You wanted wide receiver in the draft probably, and then you got him, and then he ended up being better than what you thought. You needed a Sean Lee replacement. You got it, and he's even going to be better than Sean Lee, even if Sean Lee stayed healthy his whole career. So that's exciting. You know what I mean? Sean Lee, to me, when healthy, is a stud. So when you get these 2 guys in there, you're going to wreak havoc. Byron Jones, DeMarcus Lawrence. What a nice little 4 spot that you got there. You just need to keep adding the pieces and get the rest of your players signed. But all the Dallas haters, like the New England haters, I still recognize talent and I give respect where respect is due. And J.J. Trilla, I do. My favorite will always be the chant from the 2009 season. They made a commercial based off that. I remember that. They should have had Brees cover Diggs on the Minnesota Miracle play. Ooh, low blow there. But you know what? The thing is that Minneapolis Miracle was great, right? But did the Vikings take it and win the Super Bowl? No, right? The Rams' pass interference on the Nolans Saints, right, was unfair, right? Should have been called. Sometimes karma's a bitch, especially in sports, right? Did the Rams win the Super Bowl? No. So, Nolans Saints, hungry, right? Motivated. Chip on their shoulder, ready to win. And when you're motivated and you've gone through pain like that, they're the most dangerous team going into this season, and that's big facts. I'm telling you right now, if you've ever gone through any adversity in your life, you know what I mean? 2 of the probably, as far as adversity and painful things to watch, it was painful for me to watch both of those things. It was cool to see Diggs, come up with this miraculous play. I mean, if you're just watching it from a fan point of view, not just to be oh my God, the Saints, if you're a Saints fan, you're yeah, that was horrible. I don't even want to remember that, right? But if you're looking at it, if it wasn't the Saints and it was another team, just the way the game ended, you know what I mean? Oh my God, right? And then imagine if you were in the shoes of the Saints fans, a lot of people can't. And then to have the BS call happen the next fucking year, right, to your rival, the best team that was in the NFC, the Rams, and you, Nolans Saints, right? You're going to tell me that you don't think that Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and the rest of the squad is going to be the hungriest team after those 2 devastating losses? Who else had 2 bigger devastating losses than that? Not only in 2 years back-to-back, in NFL history. Let's go. Okay? I believe in you guys. Nolans Saints. It's going to be an amazing year this year for football. You like that hot take? It's real. Allen over Hill. Allen over Hill. Got to go, guys. Good night to all you guys and all you football fans out there. Give a shout out to this channel, best channel here. Keep up pounding. Keep pounding. Panther Nation. Matthew Sanchez, thank you, man. You're one of the realest homies out there. Thank you so much, man. Damn, I think I left at the wrong time. You see that what Melvin got offered? Someone said like 10 or 11 million, something of that nature. So, Matthew Sanchez, I'll see you again. Daddy Wags. Same. I love Julio because he stays silent until he decides to moss somebody. True. But when the game's on the line, right, and you need a touchdown, right, you need a touchdown to win. If you had a choice between DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, AB, or Julio, Julio is fourth on that list for me all day. Julio can't score in the red zone. Can't. You remember the Eagles? The chances that he had? I mean, it seems like just year in and year out. I mean, like I said, he just doesn't get in the end zone enough for me, personally. Great talent. Amazing player. To be honest, he should be the best wide receiver in the league. If he had Megatron's instincts, you know what I mean? When Megatron was in the league, he was number one because he utilized his size, right? And you can't tell me that Matthew Stafford is better than Matt Ryan. And if you think Matthew Stafford is better than Matt Ryan throwing to Megatron, right? How much better? I don't think he's better. You know, Matt Ryan is a better quarterback. So, I mean, you can't really use that excuse. You think the play calling was better for the Lions with Stafford and Megatron than what they had Kyle Shanahan calling fucking plays for Julio and Matt Ryan? Come on. You know what I mean? I like the size. I like the receptions. I like the yards. But when it's all said and done, you got to get in the end zone. Calvin Ridley is more of an end zone threat than Julio now. He got 10 touchdowns last season as a rookie. He'll probably get at least that this year. Will Julio get 10? Probably not. Think about it. Look at the stats. Watch the tape. AB's numbers won't be the same with Carr. It's possible, right? But with hard work and the amount of, discipline and training that AB's doing, he's going to have to work harder for it. But the thing that AB has going for him, Carr is not as good as Big Ben, but AB has the talent to be able to score multi-touchdown games in multiple games throughout the season. So he still has a chance to get to 10 or 15 touchdowns, He's that talented. He can take a 5-yard slant to the house. There's not very many guys that can do that. He's got the best toe drag swag in the NFL. If the catch is coming on the sideline and you need a toe tap catch, AB, right? Sting like a butterfly, fly like a butterfly, sting like AB. Antonio Brown, he's the best. He's the best at the toe drag swag. Watch the tape. Big facts. Marcus Colston was quiet and no one respected him. He was probably one of the most underrated wide receivers, year in and year out. Always was a gamer. Always, right? Didn't get the respect, right? One of my favorite wide receivers as far as like lower name guys that always put up good production. Very, very fun to watch year in and year out. Big Colston fan. Agreed. I think Carr is still very talented, but we may never see it again because he's gun shy after the broken leg. Well, to be honest, I think with his personality, I just don't think he's really a top 10 quarterback. You know what I mean? He's better than his brother, from the Texans back in the day, David, right, who's on like NFL Network now, right? But to me, Carr will never be a top 10 quarterback. Not trying to bust the Raiders bubble, you know what I mean? But I'm not sure if that's even Gruden's guy. You know what I mean? He's got some talent. I mean, the one year he was looking like, he was kind of having an MVP season before he got hurt. The Raiders were looking pretty good, but I'm not sold on him. Would I take him over Jameis? Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how much that really says. You know what I mean? Since I don't like Jameis, so. All right. It's just funny how he has never made it to a Pro Bowl. Let's see. Sports says Zachary works just as hard as hard too. Check it out. Demario Davis is going to have a bigger year this year. Can it get any bigger than last year? Demario, a.k.a. the Glue Davis. Great year last year. If they want to go to the Super Bowl and win, he is going to have to be the glue again. Super glue, Elmer's, whatever. He'll make it happen. One of my favorite players in the NFL. I love lower name guys. That's like my favorite thing. Lower name guys that people don't know who the hell they are, and then they show out. I absolutely love those type of guys. Or guys that weren't on your team, and then they come over for a couple years, and then you're like, damn, you didn't even really know how good he was going to be coming to your team, and then he ended up surprising the hell out of you. Maybe not a Cameron Jordan talent or a Marshawn Lattimore talent, but he's fucking good. You know what I mean? Key piece for your team. I love him. Let's see here, because the NFL doesn't want to talk about a team who has had a horrible history, unlike the Steelers or the Patriots. The Dome is always lit. AK_41. Northwest Sports Fanatics is an answer to, will we ever have analysts who acknowledge talent when they see it? We're the only ones. I feel me and Marcus are literally the only ones on YouTube, and I think that's why we're starting to break out, is because it's kind of like unheard of. It's a lot easier to talk shit about the opponents and just be a homer. The Bucs are going to the Super Bowl. Falcons suck. Saints suck. Panthers suck. Mike Evans is the best wide receiver in football. Devin White's going to be the best linebacker to ever, put on cleats. Chris Godwin's going to be the best slot receiver that anyone's ever seen. You know what I mean? See how idiotic that sounds when you get guys like that, or when Skip Bayless says stupid shit like that for the Cowboys. It's just like, the Cowboys, I give respect where respect is due, but sometimes you're just playing for TV and playing for ratings just because people like to argue and people like to, just be America loves ignorance. You know what I mean? If you look at all these ignorant like rappers and ignorant people, that are in the media and whatnot, they just like, America loves the ignorance and just the dumb shit. And it's just kind of refreshing that, this is truly how I feel and how I am and Marcus is. And I don't think anyone else is really like us. I mean, I love Good Morning Football. They call it how I see it. I like Kay Adams. Kay Adams is the dual threat, right? She's sexy and she's smart. And she calls it how she sees it. For girls in football, I mean, you don't really see, a lot of people that can go in depth with things and know what they're talking about, not be a homer. I mean, that's what it's about nowadays. Just call it how you see it. I mean, shit. I mean, we've had the Patriots win so many goddamn Super Bowls. I mean, can't we all get along? And, you know what I mean? We don't have to have a common enemy, but, respect the talent where talent's due, because, like I said, you'll never know when that player that you talk shit about ends up signing on your team. You know what I mean? Gerald McCoy. Panthers fans, I hate Gerald McCoy, fucking guy. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, years later, Gerald McCoy, he's a shit. I love him. You just never know. It could happen to your team too. So Bills have had it pretty rough back in the day. 4 Super Bowls, 4 years, 4 losses. Thurman Thomas, one of the best running backs to ever play, right? Jim Kelly, one of the better quarterbacks. Andre Reed, Cornelius Bennett, Bruce Smith. I watched it. They just played some tough teams. He played the Giants and Lawrence Taylor on cocaine and drugs, and they had a nice little squad, right? Then you went to the Redskins, Marcus's team, Mark Rippon, Art Monk. Amazing team, amazing roster with the Hogs. Then you go to 92 with the beginning of the Cowboys dynasty, right? 92 and 93. I mean, fuck, you just ran into the toughest teams in the NFC East that were dominating at that time. Just rough. You know what I mean? It happens, right? But as far as legacy is concerned, people will never forget it. I give them a lot of respect. Marv Levy was great at head coach. Think about how hard it would be to go to 1 Super Bowl nowadays, let alone 2 Super Bowls back to back, even if they're both losses. Think about 3, 4 nowadays. How impossible that would be. Impossible. 4 in a row. I mean, Patriots have been kind of on that mode, but usually there's some other team that sneaks in, and they've been able to win some. But obviously the first 3 that the Patriots won are a lot of them are tainted, right, because of the cheating. How much cheating did they do? They won the first 3 Super Bowls by 3. Rams, 3, right? Panthers, 3. Jake Delhomme, right? Muhsin Muhammad, Steve Smith. Eagles with Terrell Owens, 3. Donovan McNabb. I mean, how much cheating was going on? So, I mean, the legacy is tainted. I mean, we got to give him Tom Brady the respect, and Belichick, but there definitely is a black eye on the franchise with all that cheating. I know a lot of fans other than New England hate that team. It's like you can respect them for, the greatness that they've had, but they didn't do it just with talent and hard work and drafting. They've definitely bent the rules to get these championships. So they're never going to go down in history as doing it the right way. There's always going to be the black eye with that franchise. Just like when baseball players did steroids. You know what I mean? If you're a Barry Bonds guy, I mean, can you really respect that? I mean, he went from 160 to 180 pounds to 250 with a, humongous neck and big ass arms and, just blasting 70 homers. You know what I mean? It just depends on how you view it. Let's see here. You definitely a Saints fan. Just admitted already, man. Love so many players on the Saints. I'm just a fan of football. Fan of football, Mr. Nguyen. Man. Anzalone is going to pop off this year. Agreed. He's not a homer, so he could switch. No shame in it. I can't, though. You know what I mean? Think about how much misery I've had. No playoffs since 2007. But, when Tampa Bay early on, before they got their Super Bowl, I lost to the Eagles in the playoffs, right, in 2000. Lost to the Eagles again in 2001, right, when they had their run. Then in 2002, Rondé Barber got that pick, and I beat them. Talk about losing, and then winning big, right? Having the bye week, beating the Niners, beating the Eagles, beating the brakes off the Raiders. When they had Jerry Rice in the top 3 offense with Rich Gannon. Derek Brooks getting a pick 6, getting 5 interceptions off Gannon for touchdowns. How happy that made me as a fan. And I knew, when I had that, when I was like 20, I knew that might be the only time that they ever get to the Super Bowl or even win. Ever. They might not even get there ever again. They got to an NFC championship game in 99 with Sean King, and the quarterback was garbage. They probably wouldn't have beat the Titans that year in the Super Bowl if they would have made it because they didn't have enough offense or the right coaching because Dungy was too conservative. But, that's part of being a fan. But imagine in like 20 years before I die, or whenever it is, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make it to an NFC championship game or they win, you guys will be thinking of me and how happy I'll be. So it'll mean more. When I'm a Mariner fan. They haven't made the playoffs since 2001, since Ichiro's rookie year. Misery every year. Blazers, normally it's misery every year, except this year they made the West Finals and overachieved, and now they got a pretty good squad, and they might be able to make it happen. But usually the Blazers don't really do a whole lot. It's like kind of first round, one and done, but this year was special. Oregon Ducks are one of my favorite teams, but they never can win the big one when they get there. They end up playing Auburn with Cam Newton or, with Ohio State, and the players are bigger, faster, stronger, and then, it's rough, but when you do win something at some point, for me, it's gonna mean more, than just jumping ship. You couldn't respect me if I went, I'm a New England fan, fuck that, dude. New England fans don't even watch YouTube, have you guys seen any New England Patriot YouTubers? They're not really out there. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're not there. Let's see here. Nicholas says, it's because we know hospitality. Yeah, big facts. Mr. Nguyen, Kay Adams, fine as fuck. She is. And I like her sports knowledge. That makes her sexy too, because Good Morning Football, to me, like I said, is the best show for NFL coverage, period. It's NFL Network. NFL Network always has the best. If you end up watching like the draft, right, and you watch NFL Network typically or ESPN, I don't watch that ESPN shit. The NFL Network, guys are usually better. It just depends on who you have a preference for. But that show is great. Let's see here. 3 straight Super Bowl victories by 3. Illuminati confirmed. I know, isn't that kind of odd? All by 3. Some cheating might have happened, more than likely. Elliot Evans, thanks for the follow on Twitter. Yeah, no problem, man. I actually had to go back on my Twitter and some of the Instagram because I didn't even realize that some of the people followed. So I had to kind of go back and scroll through because I usually just use the Twitter for just news, breaking stuff, and I'll retweet stuff. Not usually just say, hey, I went to the grocery store or whatever some of these Twitter guys do. Only I retweet and like the big stories. So that way the people that follow me that can see those stories, that the breaking news. So no problem, man. If I would have known that you were on there earlier, I would have did it a long time ago. So I apologize for that, but we can follow each other and have fun with this football season. Destiny Clips. Have you said Luke Kuechly yet? Luke. I did the list. Luke Kuechly. 6 Inc. will tell you. You can argue 1 or 2, but the stats with Bobby Wagner last year put him at 1. There's a reason why the only rating in probably Madden this year, Madden 20, that was right, was Bobby Wagner at a 99. And it's probably the one that was the biggest head scratcher and the most confusing for non-hardcore sport fanatics because they didn't understand. Aaron Donald at 99, you understand. DeAndre Hopkins for most, you understand. But when Bobby Wagner's at a 99 and you think of all the other linebackers and like Patrick Mahomes should have been a 99, right? Based off last year, how was he not, right? But look at the facts. 2 missed tackles all season. 999 snaps. No Legion of Boom to lean on. He just had a hell of a year. Most wanted 20. I'm a USC fan. That's true pain. Yeah, but when you play Oregon, you usually beat them up. They're going to have a rough year this year. Oregon goes to USC. They have the game against Auburn on the road. Oregon does. They got to go to Washington and Stanford and USC. So that's potential 4 losses right there, even if Herbert's great. But USC's history and their fan base is pretty amazing. They've had a lot of quality pieces come out of USC. Pretty passionate fan base. I mean, you got Will Ferrell as one of your number one, guys, So if you have Will Ferrell on your side, I mean, there's no looking back. He's awesome. Damon. That's how I felt as an Eagles fan, disappointment after disappointment, and then we finally did it in 2017. One thing, Damon, I want to let you know, too, is the cool thing about out here is if you're familiar with the Eagles, which I know you are, they have a thing called the Eagles Nest, right? So they have these Eagles fan clubs across the nation. They have one here, like literally a minute from my house, right? At O'Brien's is what it's called, and it's an Irish place, and it's guys from Philly and guys that travel from far away, and it's a Philly Eagles bar where it's like all Eagles fans come in there, all different swag. They have contests after each quarter. They go like 100 deep in this bar, and it's not a big bar. And it's all Eagles. They sing the chant, the Fly Eagles Fly, every time they score. It's a pretty cool place. I think they got one in Arizona as well. But if you look it up and just look at the Eagles Nest and the different websites that they have promoting it, and you see the one here that's in King City or Tualatin, Oregon, it's cool. If you ever come out here, it's the place to go. I used to actually go there, and that's why I have connection with Eagles fans. I'd go to watch my Buccaneer games. I'd have my construction hard hat, right, my Derek Brooks jersey. I'd come in there, and they were so nice to me. Like, most of the TVs were for Eagles, and they wouldn't give anybody sound or audio, and that's my favorite part of watching football. If I'm going to go to a bar, I need to hear what they're saying. I can't just have it just silent and drink beers and eat breakfast, right? And they would always put the audio for me. They wouldn't do it for anyone else, but they did it for me. Owner was really cool. I still go in there once in a while, but I haven't gone in there in a couple years. Really cool place. Probably one of the coolest places I've ever been as far as a team football bar. So much passion. And this was before they won the Super Bowl. So just the heartache that they've had, but these guys are lifers. I mean, you had guys in there from, 18 years old all the way up to like 95. There was some, old timers that were in there. And so, I can understand. Sometimes you have to have that heartache, but I watched, as when teams win Super Bowls and they have that parade, I usually don't watch. That Philadelphia Eagles team from a couple years ago, I had a guy named Zach Hito. He's one of our guys that was number one on the channel, Zach H. I sent him a Carson Wentz jersey before the Super Bowl for being like our number one fan. Always in the comment section, always on there, commenting paragraphs, novels about everything Eagles, and he supported us to the end. And once he got the jersey, he was so overwhelmed. He only had one jersey prior to that. It was like a busted up Randall Cunningham, and he was just so grateful and thankful. When I told him that they would win the Super Bowl and they would win by a big amount, 9, 10, 11 points, he didn't really maybe fully believe it, and then they did, and they won. He didn't take the jersey off for like 2 weeks. He wore it to work. He was, kind of a middle-aged guy, 45, 50 years old. And in return, he sent me Philly cheesesteaks from some of the famous places, by plane or however they got here. Amazing. Great fan base, you know what I mean? And watching the parade, it's one of the only ones I've ever watched that wasn't like Tampa Bay, and I felt it. I felt the passion. I felt the pain from the years before. But a lot of people they don't understand the Eagles fan base. You guys threw snowballs at Santa, and your fan base is trash and stuff. It's not. It's one of the most passionate fan bases. Period. You just don't know what it's like. In a city like that. Phillies, Sixers. A lot of history. But that's just my little 2 cents in my story. Gotta love Philly. You know what I mean? Nolans Saints. I mean, those are my 2 favorite teams. That aren't Tampa Bay this season. Saying it. Carson Wentz. He's going to be able to stay healthy. Nolans Saints. Drew Brees, MVP, Super Bowl. Stamp it. I really feel it. I live in Central Illinois, and they're surprising a lot of Saints fans in high school. Well, the Saints are one of those teams it's kind of easy to root for. Who wouldn't want to be a fan of the Saints when you got Drew Brees and, Kamara and Michael Thomas? I mean, it's kind of an easy team to, kind of root for. Fat City Saint. Hey, Orion, if y'all do a Madden game tomorrow, look up Eric Rayweather. I think I've seen his video. He has a game between Kyler Murray and Haskins. I think I actually saw that preview. Didn't watch it, but I also saw the one with the Patriots and I believe the Chargers. It's a rain game. So I think we're going to probably do that one if I can get Marcus to do that. But I'm super excited. I'll definitely do that. You guys are great. Any other quick questions? Obviously, I haven't ate dinner. I've done 3 videos today. I've been grinding. I got to go exercise again. I'm trying to lose weight. You know what I mean? I feel like I had some bad habits. I'm no longer doing the bad habits, the vices that a lot of the other people are doing. I've really cut back on a lot of those things. After my dad went to the hospital, he had a stroke just recently. Really tough for me. You know what I mean? And once you see someone that you love, go through something that's not even that old, it's painful to see, but also too, it wasn't a devastating one. It really makes you evaluate, what you're doing in your life, your eating habits, drinking, smoking, doing certain things, out there. A lot of people do a lot of drugs. They, do a lot of drinking. They got a lot of vices and whatnot, eating habits and whatnot. So I've definitely dedicated, myself fully to this channel. I'm not really doing a lot of those things that I was doing before. I've gone through depression. I've gone through a lot of different things in the past. It's tough, but, it makes you really understand that life is short. So I really try to treat people the right way, leaving a legacy behind and doing this, but you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys have ever had anybody close to you either pass or, go to the hospital, but it's, it's not fun, you know what I mean? And, diabetes runs in the family. So it's like me and Marcus, his family too. So it's like at some point, more than likely, even if we take care of ourselves, I mean, there's a chance that me and Marcus can get it because our dads have it and dad's dad and, all that in the system. So we'll see, you know what I mean? But, it's all about, just enjoying life, not talking so much shit, enjoying the NFL. I'm here for you guys. Thank you for giving some prayers up. Like I said, I think I'm going to probably end it here so that way I can go get some exercising done before it gets too late. I want to watch some NFL Network also, and I don't want to ignore you guys. You guys are the greatest. Great show today. Let me actually recap. So any of you guys that are still in the room that we can go over it if you guys missed it. So today's show, Northwest Sports Fanatics, your boy Orion, NFL, top 5 linebackers going into the 2019 season. Number 7, Levante David from my Bucks. I'm not trying to be a homer. Look at his stats. He's pretty damn good. Number 6, from the Dallas Cowboys, Jalen Smith. Lots of potential from Notre Dame. Injured. They took a gamble. It paid off. Look for him to dominate. Number 5, Leighton Vander Esch, Boise State. Solo tackles, 125, 6'4", 256. Great agility. Look for him to be a monster for the Cowboys for years to come. Number 4, CJ Mosley on the New York Football Jets, Jets, 85 tackles, 27 assists, 46 stops. He cannot be stopped. Future Hall of Famer. Number 3, Darius Leonard, AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. Number 2, Luke Kuechly, who you can interchange with number 1, but I'm going to go over Bobby Wagner again. 999 snaps, 108 tackles, 34 assists, 41 stops. Didn't allow a TD on 71 pass targets. The only one in the NFL on a high level that's playing linebacker that could do something like that. 2 missed tackles for the whole season. What else can you say? It's big facts. Send those good vibes. I love every one of you guys. Thank you so much for the prayers up. I'll be okay. I'm grinding. I'm going to be here. We'll be here tomorrow, me and Marcus. I'll try to put out at least 2-3 videos for you guys. And guess what? We are so close to this fucking Hall of Fame game. I'm excited. It's going to be great. You guys enjoy your night. Christy, thank you for the donation. Damon, thank you for the donation. You guys are the greatest. And like I said, I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Go and check out the Alvin Kamara highlight video for his birthday. Also, we have the Madden 20 reaction video with the full game with the Browns and the Steelers. So if you guys are looking for something else to watch other than this, check those out. Like it. Smash that like button, stream it, watch it, share our channel, and I love you guys. I'll be back out to you tomorrow. Northwest Sports Fanatics, who talk sports like us. Northwest Sports Fanatics. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.